Friends, earlier we heard Jesus' counsel: chop off or throw away that which causes you to sin. Let us reflect more on this invitation to discern the motivation that influences our action and so effectively avoid committing sin. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away, says Jesus. Our way of seeing prompts us to act based on the stimulus made by what we see. But what informs our way of seeing is our desire or motivation. And such desire or motivation comes from the heart. Saints Matthew and Luke wrote, "The heart serves as a storage of both the good and the evil in us." And so the action that comes out of us ultimately comes from the heart. When one's heart is filled with lustful desire and malicious intent, then that person would see other people or things from the prism of lust and malice. Remember the story of Susanna in the book of Daniel? When the two elders who had been lusting over her body failed to get what they wanted from her, they conjured up a story of adultery for her to be condemned to death. And we know that God spared her through the prophet Daniel, for she was a righteous lady, and the true culprits were condemned. It is the same way when the heart is filled with hatred, greed, and pride. Everyone is seen with hostility. Everyone is seen as a potential threat or enemy. Remember King Herod, who ordered the slaughter of boys in Jerusalem because he was afraid to lose his power. Remember the vindictive Herodias, who instructed her daughter to ask Herod for the head of John the Baptist as her prize. But when one's heart is filled with concern and compassion, then the other is seen as a brother, a sister, a neighbor who deserves my time, care, friendship, and understanding. Jesus demonstrated this to us in many instances. Do you remember how he lovingly looked at the young rich man who could not part with his wealth? Or his friendliness towards Zacchaeus and other tax collectors? How about his compassion for the woman who wept at his feet and for the repentant thief crucified beside him? Friends, what we must tear and throw away are the dark desires and motivations we store in our hearts. We can only do that when we begin reordering our desires and getting rid of those that may lead us to sin. Let us recall King David, consumed with lust for Bathsheba. He orchestrated the death of Uriah so he could claim the lady as his wife. But when he realized his sinful way of seeing and his blindness to God's goodness, he pleaded with God, "A clean heart create for me, O God. Renew within me a steadfast spirit." Friends, what influences us to sin is something that comes from within: desires, thoughts, and motivations. May we realize the need for a change of heart, like King David, and may we receive a new heart and a new spirit from our true King, Jesus Christ.